Do you ever feel like you're just surviving rather than truly living, especially when life throws curveballs? Many business owners, leaders feel this way, trying to navigate constant uncertainty. This conversation will help you find clarity and purpose amidst the chaos. Welcome back to the Champion Mindset Collective podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Dahya. I'm really looking forward to this conversation today. We're talking about what it means to be human in these uncertain times, and how we can approach our businesses and communities with more purpose and connection. It's about leadership, yes, but it's also, more importantly, it's about how we lead ourselves and how we see other people around us. Shailesh Bagwe is joining me to explore this. Shailesh is a commerce and law graduate with a strong foundation in financial management and a deep commitment to community development and positive social impact. With a lifelong interest in human purpose, values, and potential, Shailesh believes meaningful progress begins with people. His work is centered on empowering individuals, strengthening communities, and creating opportunities for constructive change. He is passionate about innovation, collaboration, and building sustainable solutions that support both present-day challenges and future generations. His vision is to help create a society where economic development, community well-being, and ethical leadership work together for a stronger and more inclusive future. Shailesh, welcome to the Champion Mindset Collective.
Thank you so much, Anthony. This is amazing introduction you made for myself. I feel I don't have to speak anything. You have told me, it's opened my mind. But thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast and on your show. This is amazing what you work that you do. And I think this is what we need every time and again, a reminder for everyone that who we are as a human. And you nailed it when you said that we are all first and foremost humans. So, I always say my quote is, we can say ourselves that we are a human being, but how do you demonstrate that is only by being a human. And that's different from human being.
Yeah.
Being a human actually gives you opportunity to do many things and to realize that, yes, you are a human. That's probably why. Thank you so much. Yes, human being is one of my important part of my journey, because when you realize you are a human being, that's where your journey starts. Until then, you are just living, surviving for, we say the birds also survive, the animals also survive by eating and drinking. And that's what we humans also do until we realize we are human being. And that's something that has deep rooted in me at a very young age. So I can talk a lot about being a human, what it is.
Yeah, that's profound. Thank you for sharing that. And talking about your journey, I'd love to explore your journey in life from childhood to now.
Mhm.
How did you get here? Tell us about your journey in life.
Ooh, we'll have to go back to the history, aren't we? It means we have to reflect myself. Are you trying to tell me that reflect yourself, which is great?
100%.
Reflection of myself. So, where do I start? Is until whenever I remembered that what I was doing as a child, as a teenage, and then as a surroundings of I grew up in a joint family where we were absolutely like looking after each other, caring for each other, didn't feel the isolation, didn't feel the aloneness or aloofness, what we see today. I'm experiencing today a totally different life than what I had lived and what I have came so far living those moments. So I started my journey when I realized that at a very young age, I was a rebellion, you can call it, in those days, when you don't listen to your parents or to your uncles and aunties and respected humans around you. People call, oh, you are a rebellion. You don't like us. You want to be what you want to be. But that's how I was. I spent most of my time, my teenage and afterwards also, while studying, I was working. And even though I didn't I had to because of my own esteem, you can call it, which I didn't realize at that time what I was doing. But I was just like a stubborn child wanting to do just what I want to do. So I started that way and did my commerce graduation while working. And then my family said that, why do you want to work when we have everything, and why can't you just study? And I said, no, I need my own self, what I do. So I don't need to depend on you. for asking money or for asking help or asking support. That's who I was. Maybe that's who I was, that I realized quite fast, quickly, and went on with that same kind of mindset. And that is very important, because when you have a mindset, you keep doing things the way your mind tells. And then you have opportunity to change your mindsets. And that's where I realized that, hey, I can do anything at any time. I can change my mind anything at any time. And that was fascinating for me to explore that journey. So my journey started with exploration rather than belief system. Put it this way: belief is something that restricts us, because our own beliefs sometimes deceive us, many times deceive us. Because, geez, I believed that, but it didn't happen. So, what do you say to that? So, I quickly shifted my beliefs, or shifted my mindset, I would say, from beliefs to exploring. And that was in a better position for me to just keep exploring and not worry about it, not
Mm.
blame anyone, not blame to yourself as well, because you're not now anymore a believer of anything, but you are an explorer. And that was my journey. I started, Anthony, with a vision, with a view that this is good. I don't need to blame anyone. I don't need to blame myself. And that's how my turned into what I am today. So if you look at from my childhood, teenage, and then after graduation, and after that, working independently with whatever, choosing my own kind of profession. Luckily for me, I would say, whether people call it luck or whether we call it destiny, you can name labels, but I don't need to give any labels. Life is very, very, very like an ocean. It just flows, and you don't need to worry about what comes in between and how you navigate that. But yes, you have to move forward in terms of your mindset that, hey, I don't want to be stuck in my mind that I can't do anything, but I should be moving with the ocean, like an ocean. Just keep moving. Don't know where it will end up.
Mm.
And that's how I found my journey and my life journey as a very as fluid as possible, as clear as possible, as
Yeah.
transparent as possible, so that I first reflect in that as a mirror
Yeah.
of my own. And that's very important, I realized. So that became very much easy for me to understand my surroundings, whether they could be humans, whether they could be nature, whether they could be animals, or they could be anything that I am seeing through my own eyes, feeling through my own touches. I think that's gave me a clarity. If I am clear, that all around me are also clear. And I take that, quote that everybody says, like Einstein also says, that life is keep changing is what is important, rather than stuck into one mode or one thing. So that's why
Yeah.
it was very interesting for me in that regard. But now I found that that was normal for me, and it has become a norm of my life, that you don't need to be worrying, and you don't need to be validating with surrounding you, and others don't need to validate you, because who you are is who you are, and what others are. So you can't change everybody's mind, but you can change the surroundings of everyone, I think.
Mm.
And that circumstances, when you change of everyone or someone that you think, that's where you have made an impact and a difference, because they have changed their mindsets
Yeah.
because of their environment. And
Yeah.
that environment responsible is you have allowed or contributed towards change. And that's what I found. The community can be changed. The people around us can be moved into different directions. They just need the support and the collaborative approach of everyone, rather than working alone to yourself. We are in denial that when we work for yourself, people call selfish or mean and all of that. However, what I feel, they are in denial that they are not working selfish or selfless. Actually, they are contributing towards someone's lives around them. They don't realize, and they are in denial. And when the consequences come to them, that's where they realize, geez, I am selfish.
Mm.
But reality wise, you were never selfish. You just didn't realize that your contribution, no matter whatever way, is affecting, impacting around you, surrounded by you. It is affected.
100%.
And so I think community is all about unity. I on purpose made, and you will be laughing at me, but Anthony, I made community spelling change, and some of the politicians over here and the stakeholders of community leaders said, "Hey, you have spelled the community spelling wrong. What I did is COMMUNITY is the normal. I just added TEY. So I added E after T, and then I highlighted UNITE in bold. So that became unite, and that also became unity.
Unity.
And that is what we community is all about, isn't it?
It is.
Come together, unite together, and then work together. And that's
That's it.
why I'm very passionate about the surroundings around me, no matter whether they are your own blood, family. These are labels. These are labels that, oh, you are my family, you are my friend, you are my colleague. These are all labels. At the end of the day, they are people.
Yeah.
They are people that make difference to each other. They are people that you have to work together, evolve together. They are not any just a furniture. They are human beings. And I think that's realization made me very much into that mode. You may laugh at me, Anthony, that I don't call myself a living being. I call myself only human being. And somebody asked me that, what does that mean? Then why are you not living being? I said, can you call sun a living being or a human being? Or do you call sun only sun? You call moon moon. You call ocean ocean. You call sand sand. You call mountain mountain. Why not humans only humans? Why do you want to divide into gender? Why do you want to divide into economic division? Why do you want to divide into location? Why do you want to divide into culture and language and all of that? You don't need to. At the end of the day, they have got one bloodstream and one color. So what difference does it make? And the reason why I said I am human being, I told them, many people still keep asking me deeper meaning, understand me and make me understand why human being and why not living being. I said, the moment you start saying you are a living being, you start comparing and you start competing. And I don't want to be in that zone because comparison and competing is not human beings do. Only creation, co-creation, collaboration, and co-collaboration is what human beings are supposed to do. That's what my realization was. Everybody's realization, and everybody probably are doing the same, but into a different kind of mode. It's just not the living beings concept doesn't gel with me. Another thing is living beings, if you call living beings yourself, then you are restricted and to a definite activity. Like the other living beings, when you say plants, animals, insects, trees, they are all living beings, but they have a performing to definite activity. Whereas we humans don't have to perform a definite activity. We can do any damn thing at any kind of level, any situation, any age, any circumstances. So that's where we are differentiate between living beings and human beings. Just like the sun and the moon, you can't define their activity. Their activities could be many, but they are still sun, they are still moon, right? And I think we human beings have got this wrong idea of dividing ourselves. And that's where we will talk more about that when we talk about a little bit, when you ask me something about SMEs or the business. That's when we'll do. But as far as my personal journey is concerned, where I am today is navigating these barriers of divisions, which our mind does, not our body. Our mind does it. Our mind tells us to our body, hey, eat this now, don't eat this, don't eat that. But when your body tells, hey, I need food, no matter whether what you like and what you don't like, I just need food. And that's where you realize, okay, I'm going to eat, I'm going to put in your tummy anything. So what the mind doing is playing two games. One, they are giving you likes and dislikes, and then the next, they are fulfilling your needs. This is where the difference between my human journey is. We always forget that and when you talked about the initial, when you started survival, are we surviving? It's a beautiful quotation with that. Are we surviving, or are we really thriving, or are we growing, or what? But survival is for the fittest, or when we talk about, this is what we do is humans have got two things to understand. One is the needs, which naturally as a survival instinct allows to do that, because that's what is your need. That's not what your wants are. So the wants are different than needs. You may be wanting 100 things and there is no limit to wants, but needs are limited. When you are hungry, you need food. When you are thirsty, you need water or you need liquid. That's your need. That's it. When you pass on, when you walk, when you stand, when you move, that's your needs. That's not your wants. And that's what people have to just navigate themselves to realize who they are as a human being and not as a living being. And so this is something that I have realized in my journey, that when I navigated all these years through my qualifications, experiences, and experiences is only what we makes us perfect, or there is no called as perfection, or we are all imperfectly perfect. But I think what important part is we have to explore. We can't get stuck. We have to keep exploring. And that's why you have to change your mindset from belief to exploring. That's the simplest a human being can do, to do justice to themselves, to understand who they are and what's their purpose and why they are here and how long are they going to be here.
Mm,
Is the time frame? What is the certainty and what is the uncertainty, that and what in that uncertain times you can achieve and you want to achieve? It's your mind is telling you. Your mind can make those decisions for you. You
mm,
don't have to worry. Your physical aspect will tell whether it will work or not, but your mind is so strong, can make the physical aspect work. You probably have experience in your life. Many people are disabled, they call it themselves, or they cannot move or they cannot walk. But hey, their mind is strong. They
mm,
still are doing things that amazing, which a person who has got everything can't do it.
mm.
So how do you define and justify? So don't worry and get overwhelmed by those thoughts. Just, be yourself to explore. Simple.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for sharing that. I loved everything you've shared there. And where do I even start? When we go from, as you said, from a belief to exploration and become curious about what's out there, and there's an abundance out there. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about was that our thoughts, our brains basically delete, generalize, and distort information.
Mm,
So what our brain is telling us is not even real
mm,
because it's a gobbledygook, basically.
Yep.
If you ever have an argument with someone and then you try and remember what happened, you're
mm,
going to find that you can't remember because your brain has millions of bits of information coming at you, but it can only handle 40 bits of information at any given time. So
mm.
I think because of that, what happens is a society tries to put us in a box and say, this is the way it should be. But in reality, there is an abundance out there, but we're programmed that this is the only way to go. And as Bruce Lee said, be like water, flow with. So if we learn to examine who we are, and as I mentioned last night when we caught up over dinner, was that,
Yes.
and you said before as well, what happens internally is a reflection of our external.
Mm.
And as a business owner, what happens in your personal life is a reflection of what's happening in your business life as well. I totally agree with you in terms of the collaboration, the co-creation, and unity, and not coming from a place of competition. What does it mean to you, especially in a world that often feels very focused on profits and outcomes?
This is a very good question, because what profits also, it starts from P, and I always see the acronyms when we saw the acronyms, the numerology or the numbers. It's very fascinating that I wanted to always, dwell into it and be curious about it. So profits is like starts from P, and then P starts from people, and then P starts from proof and proof. And it's very interesting to understand these simple things. What is profits is $1 million question, because how do you justify profits? And does profits only come in terms of finance, or it comes in terms of health, or it comes in terms of relationship? Because you and I caught up, and I said to, this is where, I don't need anything. I need just Anthony, because he has got everything that I want. And then Anthony says, okay, yeah, I don't need anything. What is there? To eat, to drink, to spend time, or to go on tour and trip? If I have extra money, I can do all of that. But is it going to be worthwhile doing myself, or being with someone and doing it? What is it worth? So what is real profits? It's very interesting from my perspective. People are so bogged down that they forget there was no money invented in many years ago. As humans evolved, humans needs and humans wants were more, so they wanted more and more, and they still want more. And that is a never ending story. You will pass away, you will go, you will leave everything for your generations to come. But that journey continues of prophets over people. And if there is no people, there is no prophets. And I understood that. I think more people understood that, not I, but I would say more people understood that during COVID. There was slogans all over, profits over people, and that was very interesting, that many people try to take the advantage as if like that's the world is ending. Let's take all the money, let's take all the profits from everyone, every people. That was a wrong kind of approach from many people. But then they soon realize, what do I do with the money? I can't go out, I can't eat out. And many celebrities saw that. And many journey, as Anthony you disclosed with the start, when you know your journey as a spiritual aspect of our life. People realize the spiritual aspect of our life, who we are spirits. But then, do we need money? Do we need profits if we are spirits? And that was one of the things. Profits is about individuals' interpretation, and they can keep doing that forever. They will never get an answer to that, because they will pass on all their profits to their generations to come, and they will still not realize why I created this, why I made all of this. My kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. We are conditioned or programmed to be in the gap rather than the gain. And
Yeah.
when you focus on monetary and physical, material consumerism and so on, you're never going to be happy because you always want more, right?
Absolutely.
But when you focus on the human side of things and people,
Mm.
there's an abundance. So you're never seeking more because there's always an abundance of people, providing that you are one of these people who are actually going to work with other people
Mm.
and collaborate with other people. Just a very good example is that last night we had a meeting
Mm.
and the three of us, Naveen, Gaurav, and myself, met this morning, and
Mm.
we are collaborating already. We've
There you go.
just met each other, but we're like, each one of us brings so much potential and so much knowledge together and experience that if we work together, we can actually win together and we can succeed together, right? And so I totally believe exactly what you said there. Where does that passion for understanding people come from for you?
Yeah, it's as I said, like very early age, when I was made a kind of a think that I'm a rebellion, because I wanted to do the way things I want to do, not realizing what others want to do, what my mom and dad wants to do, or what my friends and colleagues want to do. I always wanted to do what I want to do, and I think I wanted to mention here very profoundly that one day my son is now 25 and he's in Melbourne, but he said to me, Dad, if you want to spend, you have to earn. So I said, okay, where do I want to spend? I asked him, where do you want to spend? I asked him, yes, we want to earn, to spend, we have to earn. But is there a definition that how much do you want to earn, to spend, and where do you want to spend? Is there a kind of a rationalism for it? And he said to me that no, whatever you want to do, and if you don't have thumbs, only do it for that, only earn for that. Don't have to worry about other things. Other people might be doing many things. They may be spending on many things because that's their passion. And so that's probably why they want to earn for that spending. But what you want to spend is what you want to spend. So only earn what you want to spend and where you want to spend, rather than getting, becoming trapped into the world of what others are doing. And that I found very profound, basically. That, yeah, that makes sense. Why should I waste my energy and time on things that I don't want to spend? Right? So, just on that journey, when I was as a child, I realized, as a teenager, I realized that I want to earn, but I want to earn only to spend. So, graduation of commerce, I can do anything at that time, but I chose to do commerce, and I chose to do my law, and then I chose to do my financial management. That was not something that I had thought through, but it just came from within. And for that, I earned, I studied, and that's how I am. But realization of that, came very early.
Mm,
What I'm saying is into my life, which is continuing now also with the similar kind of when you are attuned to that.
mm,
So I say that, You can do whatever you want, you can create whatever you want, but is it really valuing you, or is it really valuing something else? And I think many people have quoted as well that don't teach how to earn money, but teach the value of money, or
Mm,
teach the value of what you do. Valuation will take it further and further. And everyone will be then focused on the value, and then automatically things fall. But if you chase after money or profits, then you will lose yourself, because sheerly because of the value that
yeah.
you are. Because humans are invaluable. They don't have a value. They are invaluable.
Mm,
And I think that's the recognition of first and foremost we need to do as a human being. And
yeah.
then again, that is self realization, that is spiritual awakening. People call it into different modes, but that's how the self realization occurs to everyone at any stage of their journey.
Mm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. And personally, I've been through many self realizations
Yes.
and had the awakenings, and the universe has just gone slap, slap, slap.
Yes.
Um, at, and as you mentioned, Einstein, it's like there's the quote about
Mm,
if you keep doing the same thing, you get the same result, and expecting something different is a sign of insanity. So for me, in the corporate world, like multiple redundancies, four of them, it was like, why does this keep happening? And then I went, okay. And the last one was like, okay, now I understand why it's happening,
mm.
and it's actually guiding me towards something bigger. Yeah.
And
So,
we are living in a rat race, or a race full of everybody wants to be first, everybody wants to be competitive, everybody wants to be comparative,
mm,
not realizing the fact. If you look at it, I remember one quote from my best friend in America. He's associated with the Marvel Group in
mhm,
Hollywood, and he's a videographer and all of that. And he has lived his journey 3 times. He had a near death experience. One thing that he said to me was very interesting. He said, Shailesh, have you realized that when competitors are racing in a 100-meter race or 1,000-meter race, whatever, everybody wants to be first. Has anybody asked them, hey, now who wants to go first and disappear from this universe? Will they be on the first, or they will be on the end?
exactly. Yeah.
And it was very profound question that he said to me, and I think that's where we talked about a topic called legacy. What is legacy? And it was very interesting. Legacy, people think that I will leave something for my children, something for my parents, friends, and everything after I die. They think that's their legacy. No, I remember legacy is every single moment you live as a legacy. When you pass on your knowledge to someone, your experience to someone, that's your legacy. You may not realize the power of that, but that is the legacy that
Yeah.
everybody does.
Yeah, because it's every moment that you're showing up, and every moment that you're sharing.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a singer, well, I'm a singer, but when I used to sing, it was like you're only as good as your last gig. Yeah, so if your last gig was rubbish, then you're not that good. But then if your next gig is really good, then you're only as good as that next gig.
Mm,
If you live your life from a point of like, I'm going to be my best version every day, and I'm going to serve people, and I think this is where a lot of humans get it wrong, is that with the whole competition side of things, is that a lot of humans are
mm.
focused so much on, like you said, is who can get there first. And you see this at the moment with technology, AI, innovation, where
Yeah.
all the big hyperscalers are trying to, be the first one to AGI and super
Yeah.
intelligence and all that sort of stuff. But if you think about it in the sense that we're actually on this earth to serve and
Mhm.
help others,
Mm.
and we have a gift of stewardship. God has blessed us with stewardship. So every person that we come across,
100%.
we are a steward to help those people, right?
Mm.
Now, in a world where there's competition and this and that, there is none of that, because you're just competing against each other. But when you come together as a human race and humans, and you see the value and you talked about value before, you see
Yes.
the value in each and every human being that you're interacting with, and then you say, I see this value in you, and I want to work with you, and I want to collaborate with you. That
Yes.
is something special that you'll never find in the competitive world out there, because when you get the best people working together, you can create amazing things together.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, you look. I've interviewed some people previously in the AI space who worked with Nobel Prize winners,
Right.
and both of these people said that two Nobel Prize winners were working together.
Wow.
If they didn't work together, they probably wouldn't have got anywhere. But
True.
because they worked together is why they both became Nobel Prize winners. And what they did is they looked at each other's strengths and said, well, your strength is going to complement me. So how can I work with you and how can you work with me? How do you see that connecting in the world of business and entrepreneurship?
Yeah. That's a very good question, but it is so simple. But people get bogged down with so many complicated, or overwhelmed by how do I do this and what do I do? They think business or they think anything that they are creating is so hard and so tough, and because they cannot do what others are doing, that's the first perception in the mind that humans have. Hey, what? So that's why they do three things very nicely as a human. First, they accumulate because they think business means let's accumulate, whether people, whether material, whether anything, just accumulate. The another thing they are very easy to do that they do is chase. Let's chase that person. Let's chase our mind. Let's chase their mind. And the third thing is they follow. Either they follow their own dreams or they follow somebody else's dream, or they want to become someone, and that's how they want to follow. So accumulation, chase, and following. These are the three very, very naturally every human being has got that ingredient embedded in it. But this is where the human challenge is. How do you become being a human? Or you just want to say, I am a human being and do exactly what as a subconscious mind keeps tells you to do. Then there is no point, because the tree, you grow a tree and you know if it's an apple tree, it will grow only apples. You cannot grow mangoes on it. And a mango tree cannot grow apples on it. So you don't want to become one of those. You are bigger than that. You are beyond that. If you want, you can say, I can grow mangoes on apples in your mind, and you can put things together to do that and to show that and to showcase that. And that's where your business or creation, we businesses are, I call it, they are not businesses, they are creators. I call every business owner a creator, because first and foremost, they are going against their mindset. They are not subconsciously doing, they are consciously doing what they want to do. And so that means they are creating. So they are creators. So first and foremost, I call business owners creators, and then they become entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs is something that, we are entrepreneurs when we create something. And when we create something, when we are become entrepreneur, you create many enterprises. We have a wrong impression that, oh, that company is bigger. No. That company is not bigger. That company is just a name created by an entrepreneur. There may be hundreds names of companies. Those companies may be not important. Who is the entrepreneur? Who is the creator? That's the person. As you mentioned before about when two AI Nobel Prize winners come together, and then you mentioned about, how people's power is together. So it's not important that who does it. It's important the creation that has been created together by coming together. And so I personally feel, in my view, businesses are looked at in a different angle for me. Personally and business, there is no difference in my world, because what you do personally also is your business. In at home is also your business. And when you do outside your home, that also is your business. So literally, if you look at it, we are creators. We are creator of our home. We are creators of our outside the home, in the public, with the people, with yourself, with your own colleagues. We still create, right? I think so. That's the first and foremost I need to understand, make you also, in my view, is businesses is nothing but a creation. And how do I see our life embedded in the business world is very simple. We are creators, so that means we have to value every single thing, even slightest little, whatever we create. When a child, if you remember as a kid, we were like asked to create a paper boat or a paper kite, we were asked to do that. When we do that, oh wow, that child can do that. It's so creation. But the same child, when they grow up and when they try to create, oh, that's idiotic what he did, or that's not good enough, people talk about that. But they like the board that was created of a paper. They love that child. But that same child, when grows and creates something, they start comparing and competing rather than appreciating the creation. Does
Mm.
that make sense, Anthony?
Yeah, it does.
And this is where I think that business owners needs to be first mindful about their own creation and recognizing their own power, and not let anyone erode that recognition and erode that power. They should never allow that. They should keep away from the negativity, because they are creators, and those people who blame or who take name, they are not creators. They are here only to accumulate or to chase you or to follow you. They are not in your league. Does that make sense?
It
And
does.
so I personally feel that businesses needs that recognition, that power for themselves first when they create something, so that they can share, and then everybody can get recognized and everybody can see the value in it, basically.
Yeah,
So you
100%.
create your own value, just like businesses create their own value, which is the business, rather than entrepreneurs create the businesses and they create their own value. They create their own brand. And that's where then you start looking at that brand. "Oh, I want to be like that, or I want to create like that." That's how I see at that.
Yeah, that's so right because for a very long time, it was all about the brand, right? But now you hear a lot of people talking about the personal brand because the personal brand is the human. That person's leading all of that. So the personal brand is so much more important. Now, the other thing you talked about was the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. As you may agree with me, is that our thoughts have power, and our thoughts, because we've been created in that world. So we each and every human gets given a vision. Now, whatever thought we think about is what we're going to create. So the thing I'd like to ask people is like, what are you sowing into your body, into your garden?
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
what are you creating? What are the thoughts that you're putting out there? And a lot of people come from this negativity of, and like I said, blame and
Yeah.
victim, hurt, all that. But if you actually turn that around and that you say, everything happens for a reason and it's giving me a lesson, it's giving me information. And what I do with that information is what matters,
Now
right?
it matters. Yeah.
How you respond to the situation. As business owners, we are creators, we are entrepreneurs, and we are the brand.
See, anywhere you go, and as a people, when you and I meet, or when you meet some celebrity or a prime minister or anyone, whoever has created a title for themselves or we have given, whatever, when they meet you, they don't see what's in your pocket. They see how you are communicating with them and treating them. And that's the ultimately is the bottom line of a human being,
Yeah.
that how you get. But just on that, I want to add a little bit, if you don't mind,
Yeah, go for it.
about the thoughts. I realized very early in my life that thoughts becoming things, these three words are very powerful to me, and they resonate with me from my childhood. Otherwise, the thoughts are only thoughts. They are only become when they become things. That's what it matters. So thoughts becoming things is much bigger than saying, "Hey, I love you." So according to me, because that's where the life is, when they love you more, when you make things out of your thoughts.
Mm,
I love you more than just saying I love you. I
yeah.
love you is an emotional thick, all good. It's everything is good when you say I love you, because you can say to anyone at any age and any circumstances, and they feel good about it and they never feel bad about it, which is great. But most important is your love that person more when you see that person has created something out of their thoughts. Thoughts becoming things is very powerful. And I realized that very soon, that our thoughts keep coming to us, and they keep telling us, don't do this, don't do that, do this later, this is not good, this is bad. They keep coming to us. What we get is entangled into that, and we become victim, and our subconscious minds keeps doing what our thoughts keep telling us. But what the day you realize, hey, and you tell your thoughts, hey, you can keep coming, I am not going to listen to you, I will choose you when I want and what I want, you keep coming, no problem. That's where you have the power over your thoughts. And
Yeah.
that's where your emotional well-being also is being checked by you and not
Yeah.
by others.
Yeah, 100%. When I read the book, The Power of Now by
Mm.
Eckhart Tolle, and he said your thoughts are just like clouds, they just pass by.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so you just say, oh, there's another silly thought, and just let it pass. There's
Yeah,
another silly thought, let it pass.
let it pass. Yeah,
And you don't give it any power, you don't give it any time, and then you get to choose what
correct.
thoughts you want to use. And it helps if you stay in the present moment as well.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you mentioned that meaningful progress begins with people. When you look at the small medium enterprise community, SMEs in New Zealand, what does that look like in practice to you?
Yeah, it's very interesting because small, medium enterprise or entrepreneurs is nothing but we are, as I said, it's first and foremost, it's a creation that you have to recognize yourself. And the second thing that we all need to understand that we are the largest, we are the contributors the day we seed a thought in our mind. I want to do something of a business or create something. That day itself, you start contributing towards the economy of the country as a nation rather than only for yourself. This is what people don't understand. The entrepreneurs don't understand. Your contribution starts the day you think, I want to do something for myself or create some revenue path. And that's the entrepreneurship that you are trying to create revenue path. But in that process, at the same time, you are thinking of contributing to the economy. And you start contributing to the economy by spending your time, your energy, your money, your finances, your spending in anything, whether you go to cafes, drink coffee more, have meetings more and drink more, have dinners more, or transport cost or fuel cost, everything you start contributing, even though you haven't seen a single dollar of profit, but you start contributing. And that itself is a recognition that you are contributing to the nation. So that is very important for people to understand that how do we contribute? How do I contribute? They don't realize, they think it's mine. They think it's me. They think it's personal. Nothing is personal in this universe. Nothing is personal. We
Mm,
all are made for each other, going back to the point before that we impact everyone, we support everyone indirectly, directly. We are in denial, we are in not understanding our power of when you contribute, it's not for yourself, it's actually for everyone. I remember when I started this just New Zealand small medium entrepreneurs a group, that when I started, I had one business owner telling me, what is it gonna do? We are not gonna get any support. And I was put back and I said, okay, you think you're not gonna get support? What happened during COVID to you? Where did you go for support? Who did you support? Were you supported by? And then he said, yeah, government supported us. I said, yeah. So at that time, did your colleague or did your other business owner supported you? You tell me. I just ask him. So this group is not for only rainy days. This is not for only when the natural disasters or happens. This is an ongoing contribution that we make, that we recognize that we need the ongoing support. And there are organizations. So when you go, you only go when COVID or some environmental situation happens or destruction happens, then you go for support. No, that's not how it works. It has to be ongoing because you are contributing ongoing. So realize your power first, that you are contributing. If you say, he was saying to me, yeah, but it should be free. We shouldn't be controlled by government. We shouldn't be controlled by any organization. I said, fair point. You are not going to be controlled. You are a creator. You are independent. No, government is not telling you don't do this, don't do that. They are already giving you the independence. And then you have to work within the framework of the compliance, governance. Are you going to do like a jungle that, okay, I will do anything? You can't, right? You have to only produce certain things that is consumable by the humans and not by anyone on anything. So you got to realize this power that you have. So when I explained to him like that, that's where he little bit understood that what I am actually trying to do as an entrepreneur for bringing them together.
mm,
I think that's what is very important for every business owner to understand, that when you create, it's not only for yourself, it's for everyone you are creating, but you are not realizing and recognizing that. That's the unfortunate part.
mm,
So these all businesses, all in New Zealand and small, medium entrepreneurs are the backbone of our country. We contribute a lot. We start small, then we become like a big entity or a corporate entity. Is because when you start employing more people, and it's even though you don't employ, you are still an employer of your own company. You are still an employee of your own company. You still, because you are working for your company. You may be only one director, one chair, doesn't matter. You are still contributing. And that's the bit that many people don't get it. And that's how the legal system is also recognizing you and separating you from the company. Because where you open the company and you are the only shareholder, company legal system recognizes you as two, one as a shareholder and one as a company. So they don't entangle you. Okay. You need to understand this bit of, just like we as a human, our soul is one, our
Mm.
body is one, our inner is one, another part. So there is inner and outer. So outer people can see, inner nobody can see. Only you can understand inner.
Yeah.
That's how I see it as entrepreneurs and businesses that are largely contributing to the economy of the nation. And I think New Zealand is a far much as a nation. I've been here 26 years, Anthony. I can tell you, hand on my heart, that this has got everything, this country. However, they just need some, togetherness of directions that we can all come together and actually support our all our nation, basically.
Yeah.
We are part and parcel of it. We cannot separate us out of them. That
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. How do we put people first in a way that creates a sustainable growth?
Yeah. See, that is why the focus should be on intentions rather than the expectations. And I personally feel this is a big thing for me when I realize that how do I put people first? How do I make them involved first? First and foremost, you should have a good intention, because that comes without any cost. But that intention is more powerful than the expectations, because when you have intention, expectations automatically are taken care of. And if you look at in my law, my first language, my first subject and first topic, my law teacher said to me, you got to remember, since you are getting into law, no matter which law it is, the law works only on one principle, is intention. So if your intentions are good, then everything flows. They will always try to prove and justify your intentions rather than anything else. Circumstantial evidences, documentation, they all can be made out. Your intentions cannot be made out. Your intentions will take you through, automatically bring you through your own self,
Yeah.
that who you are. That's why they say that, even if you intentionally do something, even if you tell a lie, and if that lie is going to help and support without causing any harm, then it's great, because your intentions are good to say that at that time, even a lie, small lie or a big lie, And so intentions matters to me rather than expectations. So when you want to bring people together, first and foremost is you should know their intentions, your intentions, how we can come together with their mindset. Put always, there's another saying that we were taught in the commerce is you attitude. So what is you attitude? At that time, I didn't understand, but today I can tell you, you attitude is nothing but putting people first, like putting them first. Put yourself into their shoes when they ask you question. Think that you are asking that question to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where the you attitude comes. So I think intentions and you attitude are the most key thing for me to bring people together.
Yeah.
Because, okay, there is a saying, what's in it for them and what's in it for me. When you do work with what's in it for them, automatically what's in it for you is taken care of.
Mm.
You
Mm.
think what's in it for me and then try to do things, then very rare it will happen the way you want to. It won't
Yeah.
happen,
Yeah.
because you are restricting yourself by focusing yourself to yourself. But if you focus to others, you are a abundance. Someone will be understanding, will come through, and then they say, yeah, I resonate with you. Let's do this together, that way.
Yeah.
This people putting first is very important, but I think that happens only with intentions. If the intentions are good, and leave aside your expectations will automatically be taken care of. That
Yeah. 100%. What are some of the common challenges that businesses owners are facing trying to balance that people and profit?
I think first and foremost is information, and the second is awareness. And then the third one is the internal and external support. So if you look at these three aspects of anything, even if you want to clean a toilet at your home, you need information, you need awareness, and you need the internal external support. And if you don't have all these three, or even if you don't are not aware and no information, how are you going to navigate, right?
Mm.
And so it's very important for us to understand that, The challenges that every business and every entrepreneur faces is lack of information, lack of awareness, and lack of internal external support. And the most important part, as I said, coming back to the original, they have to recognize their own power. And if they don't recognize their power, they will get frustrated themselves, thinking that they are alone and nobody is there to support. Well, it's not. You are working for people, and these people are only one who will support you if you tell them, if you make them aware. If you don't make them and try to struggle on your own, then it's going to be very difficult. That's why there are so many helplines. There are even for like social issues, whether it's domestic violence or whether it's suicidal attempts or all sorts of things that human mind creates for them, their own problems. There is support system there, but seeking that support is one aspect, but first and foremost, information of that support.
Mm.
Has that been trickled down to everyone? Has everybody been advised or told? It's very well to say that everything is there on the website. How many people can read the website? How many people can interpret the language? How many people can actually understand the meaning of it? That why do I have to do that? And why do I have to go there? So nobody is coming to feed you like a spoon feed. But to move that, like I say, even if you're thirsty, and you want water, you still have to get up, fill up the water, and then drink it. You can't expect, I'm thirsty, hey, water, come to me and put it in my mouth.
Mm.
It won't be possible, right?
Yeah.
Same thing, the business challenges are very simple as that if you get stuck, immediately take the support and answer and talk around rather than struggling yourself, I would say. These are the common challenges that we all businesses face. We all have these issues, and someone who has got the awareness and information, then they make a little bit of difference to themselves. But then at the same token, they are also supposed to pass on that information to others, irrespective of whether they want or they don't want. Even as a circles like friends and colleagues and business owners, we have to keep passing on the information. This is what we talked about, the legacy. Whether you do business or whether in your social community aspect, passing information is the most key thing. Making awareness of things that are there around in the environment and in the communities is the another thing, that making them aware, and then giving them all the internal support and the external support that they need. And then if they don't have or if they don't know what to ask, they need to be made aware of those.
Yeah.
I think that's where we come to, good old days, they used to say that joint families worked, good old the community ship worked, like the people were working in a community, staying in a community. Now there is more isolation, more aloofness, more, on their own kind of
Mm.
independent,
Mm.
thinking that they are independent,
Yeah.
but not realizing independent or dependent. The most important thing is you should have people around you to support you, not the gadgets and not the technology only will help you. It's the people matters.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
ultimate.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Now we're living in this uncertain world
Mm.
and living through really uncertain moments,
Yeah.
whether it's economic shifts or global events. And it's for a lot of people, it's very volatile.
Mm.
How do you see entrepreneurs and community leaders navigating these uncertain times while still holding on to the purpose and values?
Yeah, that's one of that is the main thing that I started this NZSME is we are living in an uncertain times, but also we are living in a not just the environmental and the situation of the global economic situation or the global situations, whatever we call it, but as a person, if we stick together, if we have those support, that hey, I am also sailing in the same boat, you are also sailing in the, just like during COVID we noticed that, don't worry about what's happening around you, that is there, which is inevitable, it's uncertain, it was very uncertain times. But what was the message is like, talk to the strangers also and talk to them and make friends or make, support them, ask them what do you need, are you okay, what's the thing. At the end of the day, that's the last thing that we can do, and the least thing we can do to each other is to make them comfortable and confident about every single moment they are living, because that moments for you and them are different, that moments are uncertain for everyone, but they could be different dynamics of each person's moments. And I think that is the key thing, is to come together and live together and become together and take the support and help that is there. Don't be ever shy or feel guilty about asking for support, because that's not, you are not like a machine that you should only do this thing and that thing. You are a human being. You can do any damn thing at any time, and there is no guilt. These are labels: the shyness, the guilt, the identity the crisis, the titles. They are all like labels. They don't matter. What matters, they say that, where is your title when you pass away from this planet? They don't call by your name when you passed away. They just say, oh, that's the dead body going there. Okay.
Mm.
They don't say your name as well. So you are here on a temporary journey. You are here not on a permanent, temporary but uncertain. Already your journey is uncertain. Already your journey is, temporary. It's like a movie, watching a movie, not knowing what is the start and what is the end.
Mm.
But when you know your start and end, then that's not a journey of human life. That's a robotic life, what you have feed it in the technologies. That's life. You know the end result.
Yeah.
Here, you don't know the end result. So I think important part of uncertainty is to come together and stay together and actually talk to each other, because simple talks creates huge impact on each other. Not
Yeah.
just you, but
Mm.
they're also making an impact on other. Just like, ask, hey, in our family, when somebody is not able to walk or stand or sick, you still look after that person, and that person feels comfortable and confident to live the journey, whatever uncertain that person has. You also have uncertain journey. You don't know how long will you be able to support, because you yourself don't know. But the thing is, coming together, staying together makes a huge difference to both of them. That's in nutshell. Coming together, staying together, and becoming like looking after each other, caring for each other is what we humans are supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's it's good enough to control and navigate this uncertainty, whether it is economic uncertainty, whether it is, social uncertainties, or your family uncertainties, whatever circumstances you are in. Staying together actually ultimately resolves everything.
Yeah. And how are you creating that vehicle through NZSME to help achieve that?
Yeah, so New Zealand small medium entrepreneurs is a concept that was driving me crazy at some point, and saying that why businesses are closing down, why New Zealand like country having this kind of issues when we have got everything. And then I suddenly realized that we do have support system, but it is not proactive. We want support. We are proactive. We want now. We don't want tomorrow. We want now, because of uncertainties, because of the level of, we have to create and time frame that we have, limited time, uncertainty. So we need the support right now, not tomorrow when you want to give. And that was the gap I found, that there is a gap. There is a support available, but there is a gap. We have got amazing support from the New Zealand government. Don't get me wrong on it. Government after government, unfortunately, have not realized the importance of the support that they can give, and they should give promptly and not when they want, or not when somebody comes to them. They don't need to wait for someone to come to their support. It has to be fluid as fluid, transparent as transparent. And so I found the gap. That was the thing. And when I spoke to support organizations like MBI, IRD, they were all welcoming. They said it's a great opportunity for us. It's a great effort that we can get a platform. On one platform, all businesses, all categories, all locations. Since you are doing nationwide, it's great effort. It takes hell of a time. They understand that. They do understand the importance, but they do understand it takes a lot of effort and time to bring those people together. And it did took me a while to time. But I think in a short time, we have created a good kind of understanding of why the need of the hour and why we should do this and what does it going to help the SMEs. So we had a successful launches in Auckland and Hamilton, and I think we are now heading towards Wellington and other areas, Tauranga and so on, and Christchurch and so on. And I think that gives us a confidence enough also to the government support organizations, that they don't want to be looked at only supporting some segment, some location, some categories. that needs to go out, get out of that system. And so proactive was very important,
Mm.
which they immediately welcomed open armly that, yes, you are right. We have not been proactive enough to do that. And I said, we don't have the money. You have the money. You have the time and everything. You have the resources. You have the criterias. So if you just come and do all sorts of what we want to do, I mean, it is much better, easier in every area. And so I think that was the first hurdle which I found a gap, which has been now taken care, almost like they are accepting the fact that policymakers, government organizations, support organizations, funding and creative organizations who can give support. And this support is not from their creation of money, it's our creation of money. And that's what I've realized, the power of us as an SME, that it is our creation, it is our funding. Through that, they have created this. So we are not asking, we shouldn't be feeling any guilt or any
Yeah.
shame or anything.
It is our right to ask for what we've actually invested in, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also it is our right to make them feel that, hey, we are with you and we won't let the economy go down. We have to give enough, because what we contribute, we have realized that it is the country affecting the country. And if we close down, the country will close down. So before the we close down, country should not close down. Before country should not close down, we should not close down. And if we don't want to close down, we need to take every attempt. We need to do everything in the book that we can get the support from the agencies and organizations that are already there and which are ready to support us as well. So I think New Zealand is very good in that kind of thing. It just was the matter of, I think, the link and the weakness and the gap was there that we need to fill. As you said, like creators, we SMEs are creators. We can create any damn thing at any time. And so when we create something, that is what the recognition from both the parties, support organizations and the government, because ultimately it is helping the government and helping our nation,
Yeah.
basically.
Do you feel that the information that is available is probably is not well understood by the small medium entrepreneurs and businesses because it's too complex in the way it's presented to us, and maybe more workshops and webinars and things are going to help us understand better because not every business owner has gone to university. I mean, I never went to university, right?
True.
I didn't pass anything at school, but
Mm,
sometimes the policies are so complex
percent.
and it's hard to understand what we can get help with from the government as well. And how do we even approach that? Like, I've been in entrepreneurship since 2023,
Mm.
and I still don't understand how can I go and get a grant? And every organization I go to, I get people that don't understand what I'm talking about. And it's like, well, I'm starting a business and I want to get a grant. So how do we handle that?
Well, this is where business associations, they create a lot of events for networking. Business associations, they create a lot of events for exchange of businesses and exchange of cards so that we know each other from every single location, wherever they are. They can come at one day, 1 hour, and they can actually meet people. So what is that is meet and greet. A lot of people do that. A lot of organizations, associations try to do that to create the opportunity for everyone. But what is missing, Anthony, to the point that you mentioned, is are they making real impact to grow, to sustain, to become resilient? That's where the support organizations like IRD, like business mentors, like the MBIE, like the councils, they all pitch in, they all come in. And then there are organizations like who are, investment organizations, funding organizations, privately owned, and they do from time to time for SMEs. There are a lot of things then chamber of commerces are supposed to do. Whether that happens, whether these really makes difference or not, is what is the opportunity first and foremost needs to be given to the SMEs. So my idea was to create a group that will be engaging with these support organizations, then creating workshops through this so that it is not something that I want or you want, it is something that everybody wants. Something that everybody wants to get help. And the government also is very clear. They don't want to help only one or two or one category or two. They want to help the SMEs because they know But the approach was to be create more workshops. And I think when you create more workshop, they will tell you the criteria, they will tell you the limits, they will tell you the categories, they will tell you the innovative interpretation, they will tell you the technology that is currently being used over a period of time. There was no technology funding, but now there is technology funding, which is the need of the hour. So things have changed since what they used to fund for. Now they are doing online digital platforms funding for businesses to grow, for to expand, because that's the only way technology to expand. If you look at during COVID, all the technology online sales were more
Mm.
than the physical. So how did that happen? It's because of the technology, right? Again, this is what they have realized. They have changed their stance. They are funding now. This is what is very important for us to understand, that how do we make these workshops work for every SME through
Yeah.
the sources that are supposed to be and responsible for it, rather than I saying it or you saying it or some other private saying it. No, this is the organization that is responsible for, that is the accountable for, that has got all the means and the resources and the funds available for them. It's just like when and how to use is what they will tell. But we as a collective SMEs who come together to support these initiatives and actually make sure that they get the funding and the grants, at least an opportunity to listen, opportunity to explore, an opportunity to apply. And the good thing is, I mean, I can tell you that MBI has very clearly told us that they can even go individually, hand in hand with the applicants, so that they don't they don't know, as you rightly said, many people don't know how to apply. Many people even don't know what this interpretation of criterias are. Why am I not getting? Why he's getting? Okay. All those questions can be answered by, going personalized hand in hand through the applicants by the government agencies. So
Yeah.
that's something that I would definitely like to create immediately, which is what we will be doing it. And so
Yeah.
I was just talking today, and then they are going to put things in place very soon.
Cool. That's good. Why is it so important that, especially when we are talking about community development and supporting is
It's a big part. And this is what I have realized once again, a self realization of what is community. So every community is a different cultural background, different ethnicity they come from, different environmental background they come from. They don't know, because whatever they have been told, whatever they have been taught, whatever they have been experienced with their own kind of traditions, they follow that. And then they come into a mix of different similar kind of people with similar different backgrounds, different cultural traditions, and they come together. Now they have to live together. So it's very important, Anthony, that community, then they want to celebrate. They don't want to let go their community or their cultural background or their tradition. They don't want to, which is great. New Zealand is allowing them to do it. It's not restricting them. And then they want to celebrate by doing cultural events, traditional language to be spoken, and that's great. And to do all of these, they are all on their own struggling, because whatever they are earning through their community, they are putting the money to celebrate that, right? And then on top of it, the government realizes, the council realizes, yes, it's very important, diversity is important, community cannot survive without accepting the multicultural background and the multi-ethnic background. We cannot say that, oh, we'll only fund this or fund that. No, we can't. Everyone needs to be funded, right? But there is a limit for everything. But then these cultural communities that come together and the different ethnicities that come together, they seek help and support from the business community. And it's very important to understand what I'm saying now. A day will come, which I realized, that councils support, government support to some extent, embassies of different cultural support to some extent, but then they seek help majorly from the SMEs. And that's how they thrive. That's how they grow. That's how they get integrated. Imagine if there was no business community, SMEs will not support these initiatives from different cultural backgrounds. What will happen?
Mm.
Slowly it will fade out.
Mm.
There won't be communities. There won't be cultural ethnicities. There won't be any traditions to celebrate. And that's where was my fear, that we need to help and support. The first and foremost is the SMEs
Mm,
before even we go to do their traditions and
mm,
structure or cultural. Everything will happen if the SMEs are growing, thriving. They will on their own spend more, because when they spend, they know they are contributing to the economy again.
yeah.
It is not something that it's a personalized cultural that they are supporting. Actually, they are supporting the economy by doing these events, living up to the traditions, by keeping alive the culture backgrounds, by doing this kind of nature of events. They are actually contributing towards the economy majorly, right? And so it becomes very important for communities to come together, stay together, and then SMEs to actually get support from the agencies, from the every single aspect. They can do on their own whatever they can. They can put their from their pocket whatever they can, but then there is only little that they can do to thrive and to grow. As we say, human can survive with some basic needs,
Mm,
but their wants are unlimited. But they want to grow, they want to expand, if not grow, they want to expand. They cannot stay there forever. That's not human nature. You can't ask a human to sit in four corners and live your life. That will be suicidal. Immediate death of that human.
yeah. We are meant for expansion and to grow. How do you think positive storytelling can help mindset shifts in business and in the broader community?
Yeah. Important thing is I have a media channel called NZ World News Positive News. Only positive. So I focus on the word positive. The more positive, we only talk about positive. We don't need to talk about what are the challenges. Talk about the solutions of the challenges. And that will create a mindset of positiveness. Hey, I don't want to know what happened to you. I want to know what did you do to solve it. I want to know about that. I'm more interested in that, because if it happened to you, it can happen to me. So let me see what you did and what I can do. Circumstances could be different, challenges could be same, but then circumstances and your environmental can be different. But hey, at least I would know that the way you solved, and I know the solutions rather than only the problems, right? That's why there is my saying is very simple, Anthony. There is no such thing called a problem. It is just an absence of an idea to find a solution.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
That's
that
what I
that
say.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and what kind of stories could we be telling, or that we need to hear more of?
Yeah, I think what you are doing also through this channel is like more getting the insights and inner self out to the
Mm,
people. I think that itself is very much positive and very much like, prompt for many people to understand that, hey, I want to talk about positiveness. I want to only know about what are the positives. So, what are the stories? What are the ethnicities? So, how they came out of it? Like yesterday, I was talking, we were there, and I think you spoke about the Maori lady. She was there, Mahia Williams, and she said that whatever they do, there is a story behind it. There is an ancestral things that have happened, events that have happened, which has carried out. And that is one of the most beautiful motivational stories that we could tell to everyone. It's your journey, my journey. What's the positive about that? Everybody has got a different positives, I think. That's what we should be keep telling. I don't know whether you saw recently, and I want to mention this, nothing political or anything, but I'm always about positives. I like whatever is right, wrong is wrong, I always say. But I watched this movie recently that Prime Minister Jacinda's Prime Minister movie called Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. It was a documentary. In that, there was a one story at the start. She started the movie, a documentary, with saying that when she was little, her dad told her a story about a ship that was stuck at the Antarctica. There was about like 11 or 12 people on that ship. And when it got stuck, they don't know what to do. They don't know whether how to remove it, how to survive it. So they kept trying and trying. And the captain of the ship said, I'm not going to leave until, you all are survived. So rather than him, he was more looking for them to
mm,
get survived first. So his intentions ultimately made that ship survive in after 2 or 3 days something, and they could move the ship by all coming out, and they all survived. So a story that was positive and that was that you keep trying, don't give up,
yeah,
basically. You keep
100%.
trying. and you look after others that are there with you, not just yourself. And that's the motivational part of it. I really inspired that many people would have inspired about that. Yeah, you can't give up. You just keep trying. And that's probably why I remember her during COVID. She was asked by a reporter, so what do you think? How are you going to handle this? What do you think this COVID is all about at the very first time when she made the lockdown? And she said, it only came two things in my mind. One, what I can do in this situation after looking around me, the countries, I can do only two things. One, I can save the lives if whatever maximum I want to, and I should be focusing on saving lives. And the second thing is keeping everyone together. That aspect, she said, in the end, I could not do it, but I could save many lives, which is what I am doing. And she also mentioned in between that, no matter how much more you try and how much less you try, you are going to get a backlash.
Mm.
Either you did more unnecessarily, so she got backlash that you kept the lockdown too long. And then if she had not done, they would have said you didn't do enough. You are both ways.
Either way, you're going to get people going to criticize you in either way. Yeah.
But the positive, that's it. So anyway, so my point is like, yeah, positive is very, very important to give motivational stories, the ancestral stories, which are really matters to us even today. Look, I'll give you a simple example. If there was no women's school in India back in 19th century, it was formed. We are in the 22nd, 21st century. So if 19th century, this school of women was not started, was not implemented by a young couple, women would have not studied, not educated. That's the motivational part of it. How many people remember? How many people acknowledge? That's another side of the story. But hammering them, telling them these are the realities of who you are as a human. If those humans in those days with all atrocities can do it, why can't you do it?
100%.
Does that make sense?
You can, yeah. And you're right, never give up. No matter what is going on, it's going to pass.
Yeah,
And you just got to keep at it. I'm a true testament, and I'm sure you've had challenges in your lives as well. And
100%.
so, yeah. Now, looking ahead, what is one key insight or perhaps a mindset shift you hope people can take away from this conversation today about navigating the limited and uncertain moments? And what does it truly mean to create a positive change?
Yeah. Creating a positive change is like impacting yourself of your own creation, that you feel good about it, that you can create memories for yourself, but also then that memories are lasting and everlasting memories. Why do we remember people even today who created this light or the aeroplane or the machine? Why do we? We don't remember their names, but we remember the things that they created. Many people don't know who created Kiwi Saver, but we only talk about Kiwi Saver in New Zealand.
Mm.
But that was the first and foremost situation where they made people to save, to give that concept of saving, because we didn't have a concept of saving in this country. But they gave this concept through by implementing Kiwi Saver. And I think that's what is everlasting things that we keep thriving on. And we keep twigging and changes doing that. So I think that's where we have to be very much mindful about the people who have created many, many things that we are grateful to, that we enjoy today. And if we see something that is not right or that can be done better, put all your efforts and do it so that you create a memory, you create a legacy for the future and generation.
100%. Yeah. What is one step that someone could take this week to start implementing that shift?
I would say is just like, look at the other side of the coin. And as Einstein said, if you want some changes that you think don't feel good about it in your current situation, you always go to that bold leap of changing your own mind and changing your own circumstances and situation. And for that, whatever you need support and help and to talk to or communicate with, do that first thing before, saying that, no, it's becoming too lazy or complacent. Complacency is the biggest hurdle of our mind. They keeps telling you subconsciously, Don't worry, just be whatever it is. And then you don't achieve or you don't feel good about anything. See, the best thing of any human mind today, what they should do, if you want to have less regrets in your life, then do what you want to do now, not delay, not procrastinate for tomorrow or day after, because as you rightly said at the start, we have limited time and it's uncertain. So don't get yourself caught up in saying, procrastinating things that you can do now. Why do you want to delay tomorrow?
Yeah, 100%. And, if you don't start, you can't finish.
Exactly.
So I like this analogy of that I have. I always talk about you have an automatic door
Mm.
and it has a sensor. Until you step up to the sensor, the door's not going to open for you.
Sure.
So if the door's closed in whatever area in your life,
Mm.
then it's time to work through that fear and uncertainty and
Mm.
anxiety and overwhelm and just take a bold step with courage and take one step forward.
Absolutely.
And the door's going to open for you.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, last question before we come to wrap this up. So how can embracing interconnectedness of all living beings,
Mhm.
as you mentioned, help so individuals and businesses thrive?
By interconnectedness, you said.
Mm.
Yeah. And this is very, very important, because connection is what who we are. How do we connect? And how do we connect with people? How do we connect with nature? How do we connect with anything and everything around us? It's all about our connections that we create, because sometimes we mislead ourselves with the connection, saying that, oh, I like it because that's why I connected, or I don't like it, that's why I didn't connect it. It's a
Mm.
very simple thing to say that. But the reality, it's the divine power that we all have, that we all get connected. And when we get connected to each other, or to particularly for the businesses point of view, I would say, as I said, like business and personal, I don't differentiate. Business is same, whether you do it home, whatever you do in home, or whether you do outside, whatever, to earn money or to do household work, it is still your business.
Mm.
There is a interconnectedness when you come to businesses, and each businesses have got their own kind of connections point of view, that why do I want to connect with you. Sometimes I connect with you to just become a friend. Sometimes I just want to connect with you, that I resonate with you and I agree with you and I can discuss anything and everything under the sun with you. And so that becomes a very important aspect of connections. But then that connection, one connection, leads to many interconnections. And that's what we have seen, the power of SMEs.
Mm.
You come together with one person and then you connect multiple people.
Yeah.
And that's interconnection is very powerful.
Yeah.
Because then, remember one thing, in this 7-8 billion so-called in the world, in the universe, we humans are, it's I don't know how they measure and how they do it, but we say, okay, 8 billion, 9 billion are there. Why do we only get connected with only few? Why can't we
Mm.
get connected with
Connect with everyone.
And that is something that I have always pondered upon and I'm still exploring.
Yeah. Well, we are connected to each other,
Mm.
in a conscious level.
Mm.
Just physically, we don't tend to do that because we tend to keep into our own things,
Mm.
right? But the more we before society and this and that, everyone used to connect with each other, and everyone used to, like you talked about in the beginning, about before money came along, everyone used to
Yeah, but
trade for each other. So there was a culture of that in the beginning.
whenever we do business, there is a fear. Fear is the biggest factor. Or not just business, to do anything, to start anything by individual. So this interconnected helps us.
Yeah.
Interconnections helps us.
Yeah.
Connection helps us. Because I always say, there's somebody quoted someone that fear has always two meanings. The FEAR means, forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Choice is yours. You
Yeah.
know, you
It's
can.
also false evidence appearing real.
Yeah, that's why I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, false evidence.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Shailesh, if people have been watching this episode, they've been listening to this, and they are interested in connecting with you, knowing more about NZSME and what you're doing, which is amazing. And, I'm glad to be on board, you know, alongside you. How can they get in touch with you, and how can they register? How can they join the group?
Yeah, it's very simple. We have a website, we have an email, nzsme.org, have a website, but also they can directly connect with. We will have recently, as you know, we have just created a team to connect for people. There would be a comms team, there would be a governance team, there could be a marketing and strategic team, but there could be membership team as well, who would be getting in touch with the public. And we will be doing more and more those kind of awareness through our channel, and give you guys the opportunity, because this is not something that we want to create another business networking event. It is something that you have the power to make a difference to someone who are into your leagues. But most and foremost important part of NZSME is also getting the confidence of doing business, not losing the confidence, getting the startups, youngsters, for youngsters, giving them a pathway. As we talked yesterday, Anthony, that you and I agree that, self-employment pathway. You have to give service anyway with your skills. So why give service to employment? Why can't you give service as a self-employed?
As an employer. Yep. Exactly.
Service,
Yeah.
skills are skills, that everybody needs your skills, everybody needs your service. And we are living in a day and age where employment, jobs, 9 to 5 is not anymore a norm. It used to be a norm a few years ago, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Now more and more contracting, casuals, part-time, all sorts. They get the work done, that's it. There, we are happy, all of that. It's a different world we are living in. And then it's a technology world. Again, also, it's not anymore physical is important, more online, like we are doing today. I mean, who would have thought a few years ago that we could sit there and I can talk to any corner of the world? It's not there.
Yeah.
Now
It's amazing. Yeah.
it's amazing.
I'm talking to people all around the world, and founders, CEOs, and entrepreneurs, and it's amazing. I just love these conversations. So, I see NZSME like a conduit between the SMEs and the government and the policyholder and the policymakers. But I also see it as a megaphone. So if
Mm,
you think about NZSME as a megaphone, every SME has the ability to
mm.
speak their truth and their voice, and
Correct.
through
Correct.
this organization, we can help take that voice to the government.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's the reason why I did. We have teachers, doctors, police officers. Everybody has got a union to raise their voice or to raise their demands or concerns or issues. We don't have anything for SMEs that can raise their concerns or voice or come together and actually say, hey, we need this. Then only we can thrive. And so we have created this NZSME group based on the core principle and values of advocating for each other rather than just networking and exchanging cards. And we are all entrepreneurs. So remember that we all are SMEs, are entrepreneurs, not enterprise. We create enterprises. Again, I have to stress this. And that's where the government wants to fund the entrepreneurs, not the organizations. Organizations' agenda can be different. But when an entrepreneur creates something that resonates with the government agencies and the government bodies for the development and support of economy for the country, it's always good to come together and actually work together rather than working in isolation and getting the benefits for
yeah,
solely as one person.
absolutely.
So NZSME is definitely a different organization. It is not your day-to-day organizations where you will just come and waste your time and energy in just exchanging cards. So don't do that. Come there to support and help. You will get support and help, and you will be excelling. It's not just you will be raising your voice. When you raise your voice or when you express your concerns, you are actually trying to say that I want a solution. And
Yeah,
we are a solution-based
yeah,
organization.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much, Shailesh. Now we have it at the quick fire round. So you've got 6 quick fire questions, and you have to. It's like speed dating, but it's like really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So How do you define success, and has that definition evolved for you over time?
Yeah, success is all about, sustainability, survival, resilient, becoming in whatever you do, in whatever you want to, have something that you have created something and you want to remain in there for some time until you find another creation. And that's your success is like becoming resilient and becoming stable and stability. And that's very important for any part of the success is not like earning money or $1 million in the bank. It's no use of that $1 million to just watch it. But if you create $1 million and distribute those $1 million, that actually is the best success that you can ever have. Because when you receive from the universe, you distribute. It is like it's an analogy I always say to myself and remind myself. Breathe in and breathe out is a constant process. It's not in your hand. It's not by controlled by you. Okay. It's a subconscious mind. But the universe gives you without asking many things and ask you to choose from those. So receivings are easy for you because you just have to choose your receivings. But then giving is your conscious decision. And when you give, you automatically receive more. So receiving and giving is exactly like breathing and breathe out, which is required to sustain and survive and to grow. So that's to me is a success is receiving giving rather than just receiving and not giving.
100%. Who's been your greatest inspiration and why?
Oh, that's a question that I've never came across my mind because as if like, we all people around us, it starts from your family, it starts from the person you start looking at or watching at. And then you try to identify or give the titles in which I was quite away and aloof, aware of the title and the label system. So I never thought that this is my inspiration, this is my idol. But yes, I do get some of those achievers who have achieved and then they have been humbled. And if they are still humble, I think that's where they are my inspiration. I have many areas, many fields, whether it's sporting activities, whether it's film activities. There are people who have achieved a lot and who have been still humble throughout their journey. And I think that's makes a difference that all my inspiration comes only from those people who have achieved but remain the same as who they are.
What is something that you believe that others may disagree with?
There is every single thing that we believe or we want to do is never accepted by others around you. But some people accept, some people don't accept. And I remember the quote from Abraham Lincoln. He said when he became the president of America, there is always be two sets of people. One who will, no matter whatever you do, they will support you. They will never question you. Even though you do wrong, they will never question you. The second set of people will always question you, and no matter how much you justify, they will always think you are wrong and justify. Keep doing justify, they will never agree. So what happens is agree to disagree. Instead of that, Abraham Lincoln said, I'm not going to justify to anyone, people who support me or people who don't support me. Let them think and let them believe what they are because that's up to them, not up to me. And I quote this from, I think there is a quote from Bhagavad Gita that Shri Krishna says that you can't solve people's mind. You can't solve people, but you can solve their circumstances. You can solve their environment. And when you do that, their mind automatically changes. So agreeing by some people and not some people will always be there. The percentage can vary, but it never matters. What matters is even one person agrees with you. I think you have achieved a lot in this universe because we humans are different and unique.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could go back and give your younger self one
Mm.
piece of advice, what would you say to young Shailesh?
Yeah, that's a very good, and that I always reflect myself. To be honest, it's a good question that which I keep reflecting myself. What would I have done differently when I was young, and what would I have now? What I am doing is, I found that always become a rebellion and a curious. I would say to that, that has led me what who I am today, and I think that I don't want to label that it is rebellion who taught me this, but that was my first step of independency, that have what I was independent thinking, so called, against all thought people or against all my family members and respected senior members of the family and friends and colleagues who were thinking differently, and I was thinking differently at that time, but I did not bother me. And so my young who I was, is I made that bold decision. Had I not taken, I would not have known whether I was right or wrong or correct or bad. It's not about right. I cannot measure anything, right, wrong, if. But who I am, what I am today, has led me to that mindset that I created of my own in that situation, circumstances. So
Yeah.
my advice to myself is I want to remain there where I am.
Yeah. Last question for you is, what does it mean to you to be a champion and have a champion mindset?
Well, you are always championing yourself, to be honest. And I take this, your mindset, Champion Mindset Collective is a great title that you have given, because I always felt resonated that, we always need to improve ourselves by learning ourselves, by understanding who we are, by keep upgrading ourselves. So when you upgrade ourselves, it's like the maturity, age comes and then mature, you become mature, and that's where they say, oh, he's a champion, or he's a versatile, or he's absolutely knows what he's doing. He can do any damn thing. And so champion mindset is a very good concept. That mindset has to be champion because they starts from your mind. Everything, so many things starts from your mind only. All your thoughts, all your, beliefs, everything comes from there. And then you change those. You navigate those, you upgrade those. So when I say you, your mind or your soul, you teach them, you taught them, and then you make them more mature, and then you make them more champion in your own way. So champion is not affected or related to one aspect of your life. Championing is everything.
Everything.
Good at art, you may be good at sports, you may be good at, writing, drawing, painting, whatever. You are a full-fledged, matured kind of person.
It's every part of your life. Yeah,
It's every
absolutely.
part of your life. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much, Shailesh. One last question for you. What would be your favorite mindset quote? This is going to go on the Champion Mindset Collective website. There's a carousel of quotes that go past, and I'm going to add that quote to that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's always has been, train your mind to be an explorer. Don't train your mind to be a believer, because without exploration, no country would have been formed. No location would have been formed. And you are the one who can create. If they can create, you can create. They were also humans. You are also human. And look at the power of humans is that. So exploring and exploring and exploring will be the main thing, because you haven't explored even yourself, not even a tiny bit of yourself, because the universe is abandoned, as you rightly said. There's everything for everyone. But if you explore, if you believe that there is only limited, then you're gone. Then you're
100%. Yeah, Marilyn Monroe was famous for the quote that said, "The sky is not the limit.
That's right.
Your mind is the limit." Right?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And another thing which I would say is, like, there is enough space. The space has not been explored. We only talk about the space that is filled. We don't talk about the space that is empty.
Exactly.
That for you to fill, for
It
you
is.
to.
Yeah, it's infinite. So it's like you're exactly. Yeah. Shailesh, thank you so much. It's been a powerful conversation to hear your perspective on people, purpose, community, and in these uncertain times. My biggest takeaway is how crucial it is to keep people at the center of everything that we do, whether it's business or life. Thank you for being on the Champion Mindset Collective. And to everyone listening, if you found this of value, this conversation, please subscribe and share this episode with someone who can actually benefit from this. You can check out more information in the show notes, but also there will be a page on the website dedicated to this episode, which will have the Shailesh's bio, his details. We'll have the article, a guide that you can download and start to apply in your life right now. All you've got to do is put in your details and free to download and start applying that in your life. If you're also a business owner looking to optimize your operation, then I encourage you to go to the AR Workflows Agency website and book yourself in for a clarity assessment with me. And let's see how we can help you get unblocked. Let's see how we can help you more abundant, and also how your people can work smarter and not harder so that they're actually enjoying what they're doing. Thank you for being part of the Champion Mindset Collective. We'll see you next time. Lastly, I just want to say you are loved, you are worthy, champion your life, champion your greatness, and have an amazing day.
Thank you very much, Anthony, for having me. It's a
Thank you,
great
Shailesh.
pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.